Let's see. I was looking at this trying to see what they were charging for this battery. I have this inverter. I've been pretty happy with it. What I'm not happy with this inverter is that it's not a hybrid inverter. So you can do certain things with it. Mine's not plugged in. It's completely off grid. And I guess that's probably the best way to do it. But if you have an inadequate amount of battery or solar, hybrid is definitely the way to go, because you get the benefits of off-grid and kind of a grid tie. So 14.3 kilowatt. I'm not sure how much battery that actually would be. I think 100 amp hours would be probably 5.2 kilowatt. So this is probably somewhere around 300 amp hours. Maybe 250. I don't know. Let's see if they say. They're rating it at 51.2 volt at 280 amp hour. Yeah, okay. So in order to duplicate this, you would need trying to think of how much money you would need in batteries. You'd need quite a bit. I was trying to see if it actually looked like a deal or not. You're going to be paying about $200 or more for each 12 volt 100 amp hour battery. It'd be like $800 just for like a 5 kilowatt battery bank. So 800 times 3 basically. I don't know what was their price on all this. Their website needs work. I've seen they've improved it a little bit, but let's see here. What also pissed me off, my inverter went on sale a couple of days after I bought it, and I noticed it like a week later, maybe 2 weeks later. I called them. So I don't know what they're charging for the battery. More than the inverter for sure. Anyway, they bullshitted me and never called me back. They're like, yeah, we might be able to give you the money back, the difference of it. So they sell all these Generac stuff here. It's a grid tie. You know, if these really ridiculous power companies were not allowed to just dictate whatever, we could use stuff like this. But of course, they have installed meters that can tell when you backfeed into the grid. Because all you need to do is have a bunch of grid ties. This is a pretty large one. And just run a ton of panels and just use your power. So if these stupid power companies weren't so concerned about these different things, and I understand the safety hazards related to it, but like Generac That's a name brand. They're not going to make one that can accidentally backfeed into the grid when there's no power. And when there's no power, these things don't work. They sync with the grid. They need power to work. They're not even capable of working without the power. So, this really is the way to go because you eliminate the need for expensive batteries. And that allows you to generate solar power during the day to supplement your grid usage. We all know that in most cases, you're not going to be 100%, it's really, really hard. You have to completely triple, quadruple your need in order to supply it on a regular basis. And then you need tons of storage. So, and that's where the money gets spent. So anyway, these would be cool, but we can't use them here without a permit. And this is DIY solar, and you can't do DIY solar where I live unless you're completely off grid. There's a 10 kW grow watt, and I think it's kind of an attempt to copy like an N-phase, but I'm not sure. It's some type of hybrid. Santan solar, like just to bundle things. And when you do the math, you find out you're not really getting that great of a deal. These would be fine for people that are camping and things like that. But they're noisy and they're not ham radio friendly. I've used a couple of different inverters, and I have like 3 different ones right now. And the eg4 is by far the quietest one I've ever owned or used. These are terrible. They're really noisy. I had that one and that one. I think both mine were 24 volt. That guy posted on here his 12K Solarc is wiping out his radio. I don't know. These are supposed to be really nice though. I don't know that I would buy a 12K Solarc at $5,400. The 8 is probably their smallest. They have all this solar edge crap. It's all grid tie. These are all like mostly older technology that used to be tier 1, I guess. Basically, like 10 years ago, they used to use them for installs. I don't know. I think now they're using like Froniuses and other stuff for people that want like custom off-grid. See, here's a 12K PV with 8 out. I wish they would just call it an 8. Don't call it, like, just call it an 8. And then in the small print, just say it can handle 12K of PV. So it has some special feature where it can do 12K while providing 8 out, and then the additional 4 to your battery. Some of the other ones that don't even advertise that can do that anyway. So they're making it look like this is a 12 kilowatt inverter, but it's not. It's 8. Now there are other inverters that are the opposite of that. They have like a higher output than what they can even handle for an input. Particularly like the PAL MR, Amazon ones. They're really bad. I've got a 3 kilowatt 24 volt inverter, and it has a 40 amp charge controller. I mean, there's no way. You're not even close. So basically what that means is you can never continuously draw that kind of power and rely on your solar. So you need to rely on other external charge controllers, which defeats the purpose of an all-in-one. So this one's also falsely labeled as an 18K. I I don't know what its real amount is, but it's probably 12. That's probably what it is. Let's take a look, see. So, and this is cheaper than the Solarc. And it has grid tie and off grid, and power your home up to 12,000 watts. So you have 12,000 out, 18. Yeah, 18 PV input, 12,000 continuous. Utilize both grid tie and off grid functionality. 3 MPPTs, 600 volts DC maximum input. Parallel 10 units for 120 kilowatts. I don't know what CEC certified is. I really don't think any of these are like something you'd be able to buy and get installed by yourself in California, but I might be wrong. So I really think this one's the way to go. Just because of the cost. It'll do up to 12. So this one's actually more honestly advertised. It's 6,000 watts. I don't know if I would make it do that continuous. It has the ability to take in 8 kilowatts of PV power and efficiently deliver 6 kilowatts of power, all while charging your battery bank. So I've used about 20 panels on mine. They're just used panels from Santan, but I'm not coming anywhere near 8 kilowatts input with that. I think the most I've ever really seen is like 1,000 on each string. But on a daily basis, I'm seeing about between 5 and 10 kilowatt hours of power. So this one here, I just wish it had the grid tie, the 5-year warranty. I hope I don't ever have to use it. Let's just put it that way. It has a transfer switch. It has 2 MPPTs. It's supposed to be UL certified, but I really don't think, like I said, I don't think you'd be able to legally do it in California. But maybe. It's definitely made to a much higher standard than any of the MPPTs. And they're made by Lux Power. It's not actually made by eg4. Lux Power is a pretty interesting company. If we come over here and look up Lux Power, so if you search Lux Power on Google, you'll find Lux Power Tech Solutions, and they have a login page. Let's see. This page is super slow to load. So they're the ones that are building these inverters for eg4. And eg4, as far as I understand, is a company out of Texas. And I don't know if eg4 is doing their own monitoring or if it's through Lux Power, but basically Santan Solar has some kind of account. And so like when I want to look at like what my inverter's doing, I log in and I can check it from my phone, I can check it from my laptop. But it's using a Santan Solar deal. So the products, so we have hybrid inverters, they have off-grid inverters, and This is the 12K. Their page is really hard to read because they have a white background. And there's the 8 to 10K. So these are all like basically unbranded versions. These are the same ones that, as far as I understand, they're the same as what is being sold under the eg4 name. But like right on the inverter, they say Lux Power on the eg4s. So, but like if you click on their stuff here, this is something else. These are more like cheaper ones. I think the 12K is going to be the one that I have, because I think that's freaking. I wonder why it won't open. Okay, but this is a hybrid, so this isn't going to be the same. Anyway. I sure wouldn't want it outside either. A recently enhanced hybrid inverter solution. This one's a little bit different. Let's see if we can find one that looks the same. I forgot because mine has all the circuit breakers on the front. Let's see. We're going to be needing to look in the off-grid series. That's right. 12K. Split phase. Also, mine is split phase, so mine is 240 volts. This one looks a little bit different. I wonder what the difference is. Like, maybe less inverter control outputs. Look like it was minus the generator output, maybe. So this is a 6K. They have such these fancy, pretty little houses. Cutting edge. It's a nice looking house, isn't it? It just happens to have this inverter. These all look like AI generated pictures almost. You know. I mean, who the hell has a house that looks like that? Perfect hedge. Are you gonna have this thing just sitting outside for anybody to fiddle with? I don't think so. So this is the same inverter. Let's see, designed with compactness in mind and facilitates easy installation, making a seamless addition to your energy infrastructure. Inverter ensures top-tier security features to safeguard users and connected systems. Unveiling a novel dimension, the SNA US 6K inverter isn't just limited to grid-connected usage, it also offers autonomous power generation to supply power in conjunction with the grid. This dual capability caters to regions with varying power supply conditions, allowing for smooth transition between grid-connected and off-grid modes. This makes it an ideal solution for remote areas and places with unstable power supply, enabling direct off-grid utilization. But see, they don't actually have any prices on their website, and so I don't have the Lux Power app, but mine looks like that. Unfortunately, when I look at mine on my phone, it combines the two things of my string, but if I look at it on the computer, it's different. Interesting. It seems to be in a different language, like German. And this thing is actually much bigger than it looks, if you've seen it in my videos. Let's see what they have here. So this thing is really pretty quiet. I did think I detected more noise on one particular band than another, but like it's not like the other ones that just wipe out my radio. This is a more link, doesn't seem to work. Anyway, that's the Lux Power, which where did I go here? Apparently I jumped out of the page I was at. So it just says Lux Power down here instead. There's a Wi-Fi unit here. It does go through their server. Santan Solar goes through. It's hard to find, but if you look on their page, I think you have to click the contact them page. They have like this there's something else here. FAQ, I think, is what it is. And it explains how to set up your solar. It's nice they have a FAQ on here. They didn't have that before. I'm actually part of their affiliate program, unless they've removed me. They've probably removed me because I've never earned anything from them. I did link a couple of inverters that I had bought from them, but nobody ever used the links. I would only recommend buying from them if you're local, because I'm sure their shipping will kill you. Okay, so underneath the Learn tab, it's maybe under Blog. It's buried on their page somewhere. It's really ridiculous. You would think it would be like in the deal with that inverter, but no. So here's the Multi Plus. Gives you some information on that. Here's some stuff on batteries. It's right here. So under the blog, scroll down to eg4 Quick Start Guide, and okay, and you just click on that. And this would have been really nice if I had known about this on day one, but I didn't know about it. I forget the guy's name. He's on the DIY solar forum. Anyway, he definitely helped me. So let's see. So this particular inverter, if you don't have one of their branded type of batteries, you need to put it on lead acid if you don't have a BMS with a cable connector to communicate to this. Basically, if you don't have a rack mounted battery with a RJ45, you need to put it on lead acid. There isn't a user lithium setting, unfortunately. So you set it to lead acid and adjust the voltage settings to match your lithium batteries. That's one of the first things they don't tell you. And so when I configured mine, I set it to lithium and wondered why I had no battery voltage. So when it's set to lithium, it's designed to communicate with the batteries. You need to choose lead acid and your battery capacity. It goes through that on here. It does tell you that. You need to register your account with the Wi-Fi dongle. You don't have to do that, but you won't be able to do remote access. And I don't think I've actually registered this one on here, so this will be kind of fun. Mine is registered, but I haven't set it up on my laptop here. So we'll download it. Okay. And if I can remember what my username is, I can probably log in. So this is the page that you're going to get after you register it. So you would click register and you would register everything. Let me see here. I'm going to pull that page back up. Let's go ahead and bookmark that for now. Well, actually, because I think I need to go back in and... Okay, so your customer code, if you've bought it from them, is going to be Santan1, and you have to figure out all this other stuff. So there is some kind of deal depending on who you've bought it from, Santan Solar, Current Connected, or eg4 themselves, or whatever. eg4 seems to be not the preferred to buy from. Current Connected seems the one that everybody talks about. So they tell you how to set it up in here. I'm not going to go through it because I'll probably tell you something wrong. They do have a setup video. It's assuming you're using the lithium batteries. I'm trying to remember the guy's name on the solar forum. Matt something, I think, maybe. It's a picture of a guy riding on a horse or something, I think. So let me see if I can get into this login page. Okay, so once you're logged in, you'll have, like, right here. Right now I'm not seeing anything, but I think they're having problems with their server again. There is software you can buy which will directly connect. So the way that this works is the Wi-Fi Bluetooth dongle, or whatever it is connected to my Wi-Fi router. That connects to the eg4 electronics server. And then I'm able to remotely access and log into that server. So, for whatever reason, I'm not seeing anything. We're gonna go here and we'll log out. And there's a demo station that you can look at that should be like up and running, and it should show you like their demo station, how much power, battery, etc., etc. And I don't know where this station is, somewhere in another country. You can see it's got the grid tied to it. I honestly think it's just an inverter hooked up as a UPS. But you can go through and you can look at their demo station and get an idea of how it's set up. You can see the production. There is no solar production on theirs. So, like, honestly, I think it's just a backup system, which you can totally do. You don't have to have solar. So we can look here and we see that they have a BMS with 300 amps limit. So they have 300 amp hours worth of batteries. You can see they're at 35%. They're using it for something. And you can see they've discharged 1.2 kilowatts. There does seem to be some kind of solar yielded. But anyway, this is the station is called What's Happening Inverter. And you can pull up your data here, which is going to be different. It shows you all the different stuff. It's pretty crazy. Now, if there is an actual issue, it'll be in the event history. It says notice low voltage, communication failure with battery, low voltage. So once you hit your low voltage, it sets an event. So I let mine do that all the time too. So overview shows you it's normal. So you really don't get all this information on the front of the unit. Okay, so let me get back into mine. So right now it says mine is offline. The one out in the shack says the same thing. And sometimes this happens. So let's see. Now, I assure you mine is on right now. Now we can look at my production. I've got these set for solar. So we had 4.3 yesterday, 8.6 the day before, 9.7 the day before that. It'd be really nice if, for the purposes of this video, this thing wouldn't be doing this, but unfortunately this happens every once in a while. What do we got here? We have produced 442 kilowatt hours since, I don't know, not very long. Let me see if it'll do like a monthly thing. See. And so it's been online since August. We generated, you can see these here. I actually had it hooked to the grid at first. You can see we generated 176 kilowatt hours in the month of August. In September, we made 243. This month so far, we've made 22. It says it's offline, it says it's loading. So usually if you have that kind of problem, some people have found that there's a glitch in the system, or they're having a problem with their internet. And sometimes the app on the phone will work when this won't work. So this is cool, but it's not something that I like to rely on, because I notice a lot of times it doesn't work. Yeah, see, my status is offline, and no idea why. So there's also a setting, I think. We'll try this really quick. Usually this one here, will refresh it, and it says loading. But there's another one where I think is it configuration? It might be configuration. Overview. Nope. It's the maintenance menu. So when you go into the maintenance menu, you also have to do this. Before you change anything in the maintenance menu, you have to click read up here. Okay? And since it says it's offline, you can't do anything. So I would probably have to go and restart my inverter. We'll restart it. We'll see if it'll do it or not. It won't let me do it because it says the device is offline. So I really think they need to work out the bugs in this, or let Lux Power handle it or something. But anyway, it is what it is. This has only happened to me probably maybe 3 times. So usually logging in and out seems to change that. So like if I would go visit the demo station, I would do that, and then usually that would help me. But for some reason it's just being stupid. And also, there's a lot of delay between here and when it is working right. So, like, I could disconnect one of the arrays and it won't register for like a while. So anyway, I know this isn't like an in-depth video, but like for somebody that's curious about this inverter, this might shed some light on some things. Also, if you're concerned about your privacy, you probably would not want to be connected to this either, because we don't know what they're doing with this information. So, I don't know where the site is. But one time I logged into one of my Linux computers to their guest site, and it asked me if I wanted to translate it from Ukrainian or something. So, I'm curious if their demo site is in Ukraine.